Hi, I'm Nikki Jovicic from LookUpStrata, and I'm here today with Chris Irons from Strata Solve. We call these our micro webinars, and we've been covering a few different topics. The videos in this series are shorter than our usual webinars, so CPD points don't apply. These are short, sharp grabs of content about essential issues. This series is great for the time poor among us, but we're still giving an expert strata perspective. Chris is well known from his time as Queensland's former Body Corporate Commissioner, and he's now out on his own as an independent strata consultant. In this session, Chris will be particularly talking about records very generally. Chris, over to you.
Thanks very much, Nikki. Hello, everybody. As Nikki said, short and sharp is the name of the game, so let's rip straight into it today. Body corporate records as a general topic, always one that a lot of people are interested in. We'll try and break it down as best we can in a micro webinar. A quick disclaimer that this is not legal advice, and any references to legislation here are about Queensland legislation, unless stated otherwise. The issues, though, have applicability nationwide. Records, incoming correspondence, emails, the works. We are going to try and break down some of the fundamentals about body corporate records. So in my view, records are about transparency, and transparency means information. That's why body corporate records and understanding what they are and how they're accessed are so important. In Strata, there are very extensive and detailed record keeping responsibilities, just as there are in other parts of commerce in life. But that also means that access to those records is highly prescribed also. So let's talk about the who. In Queensland, an interested person is able to access body corporate records. It's a very wide-ranging definition. It's certainly not open slather, though. It's a committee decision about who gets access and in what way. It is not up to the strata manager to make a decision about access to a body corporate record. In terms of the how, the process in Queensland, and I suspect, or I understand it's reasonably similar elsewhere, the interested person makes a written request specifying what they want. They pay a prescribed fee, which happens on a per page basis. They should ideally specify the scope and need to be very clear about what that scope is. And then that should be resolved within 7 days by the committee. Our first micro webinar thought bubble. Is it appropriate to engage with an interested person to better define their scope? Absolutely it is, if you can. If someone has asked for 10 years worth of records, that's going to take a lot of time and effort. No problem picking up the phone and saying, look, do you really need 10 years, or was there something specific that you were after? Chances are you might actually resolve it by doing that. That says hot button bylaw issues, but that's supposed to say hot button records issues, everybody. When can a committee refuse? Very limited circumstances in which they can refuse a few things. One of the issues is if legal privilege applies. If the access is denied, what can the interested person do next? In Queensland, they can pursue a proceeding through my former office, the Commissioner's Office, for an order about the record. Privacy concerns come up all the time in relation to records, particularly the body corporate role, but privacy laws do not apply to the body corporate role in Queensland. And again, I suspect that is the same in most other states and territories. Our second thought bubble. How much does the reason for access to the record make a difference? It makes no difference at all. The motive and reason for wanting the record is not relevant. It has to be whether or not the person is entitled to it. So my best practice tips. Transparency is everything, and concealing things only ever leads to more problems. If not, why not? But equally, there is an obligation on both sender of the request and receiver to be clear about what they want, and also be clear about what they're being asked to do. If someone is making a high volume of record requests, then it's probably a good idea to ask why. Why do they keep asking for records? Are they feeling as though they're not getting the information they're after? Are they feeling as though something's being hidden from them? Think about addressing that issue. And our final thought bubble. Email addresses in Queensland are opt-in, but if an email address is on the roll, it's automatically taken to be part of the record, which is available to an interested person. Those are Strata Solve's contact details up there. There's always plenty of queries about records. Drop us a line and we'll see what we can do. Nikki, back to you.
Great tips. Do you have a question about records? What are they or who has access? Place a comment below in this video and we'll do our best to provide a response or point you in the right direction. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Nikki. Thanks, everyone.